1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, coming to you today with the classic bluegrass song, Long Journey Home in the key of G. If you've been to some jam sessions, you're definitely going to run into this song, especially if you're playing bluegrass. And we're going to work on 2 solos for this song. The first one, we're just going to work on getting the absolute basic melody down, which is super important when you're learning a new song. I always believe that it's the best to learn the absolute basic melody first. That's the foundation of the tune, and then you build the variations on top of that. So that's what we're going to do for this lesson. We're going to start with the first solo, break down just the absolute basic melody, and then for the second solo, we're going to do more of like how I'd play it in bluegrass style, adding some more up and down picking, adding some slides, just using some more bluegrass double stops and kind of licks. All right, I'm going to break down both solos note for note, and then show you a bunch of backup I would do for this song. So how to do kind of 2-finger strumming chords, kind of an easy strumming version, and then how I'd play it more in a bluegrass setting with chop chords, all right? I'm going to break that down as well. And if you're watching the preview of this lesson, you can head over to my website, mikeheadingmusic.com, and you can grab the full lesson. You'll get access to watch all the videos, and you can download the tabs and the practice tracks. All right, here's Long Journey Home in the key of G. All right, let's start breaking down this basic melody to Long Journey Home in the key of G. So let me play the first 4 measures, then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Do that a few times. One more time real slow. Okay, so we're going to start this song. The basic melody doesn't really have a pickup. We'll do a pickup in the bluegrass style solo, but for the basic melody, we're just going to start on the open D string in measure 1. We're going to hit that note twice in a row. The first one's going to be a quarter note, the second one's going to be a half note, and then we're going to play our first finger on the 2nd fret. And then we're going to reach our 3rd finger up to the 5th fret. So the basic melody is going to basically use all opens, 2s, and 5s on the D string and A string. So what I would encourage you to do is you're going to use your first finger for all the 2s, and you're going to use your 3rd finger for all the 5s. So it'd be good practice to keep your first finger down while you're reaching up rather than doing that. See how much more work that is? So what I want you to practice is see how I'm keeping this one down? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. That's how you count it. We're going to use all downstrokes for the basic melody, so all downstrokes. All right, let's do that a few more times. So remember, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So and then measure 2, keep your 3rd finger down, and beat 1's going to be a half note, so 1, 2. And then we're going to play on beats 3 and 4, play the 5th fret again, and then the open A string. So you have and then measure 3. You can keep your 3rd finger down if you can, or you can take it off. You're going to put your first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string and play that note. It'll be the same timing as measure 1, a quarter note followed by a half note. So play the 2nd fret twice, and then back to the open A string on beat 4, and then 5th fret D string for a whole note for measure 4. So you have let's do that line a few times. I'll do it really slow. Try and keep your fingers hovering over the frets, you know, so when I go, resist the urge to have your 3rd finger, for example, follow that one, because your 3rd finger is going right back to that 5th fret. You can keep it down the whole time if you want, but if you do need to lift it up, which is fine, I lift mine up as well, but the goal is to not lift it up and come way back here. Just lift it up and still hover right over that fret. So that's something I would practice there. Also, if you keep these fingers down, it's kind of like your insurance policy if you don't hit the notes perfectly. So it's really good practice to keep your fingers down as long as possible. Let's do those first 4 measures a couple more times. 1, 2, 3, 4. A little faster. Okay, and this lesson is basically kind of 4 measure phrases. So that's the first call, and then the response is measure 5. Back up to, so let that 5th fret on the D string ring out for 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. So count carefully there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're back up to measure 5 is the same as measure 3. So back up to the 2nd fret on the A string. And we walk back down, and then measure 6, that 5th fret is a half note, and then play that note again on beat 3, open D string, and then 2, 5 on the D string, and then 2nd fret, and then back to the open D. So let's play that whole line. So measure 7 is a perfect example of not doing this. See, hear how much choppier that is? If I keep my first finger down, instead of, especially when you get at a higher speed, those little details become really important. So not too hard. So let's play that measure 5 through 8 one more time. Count it out loud if you need to. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. The other thing you can do, and you can do this on any of the parts of the basic melody, if you're having trouble with those half notes, just play them as quarter notes so you can get the timing. And then you can hear how long the whole note should be in the half note. If you play them all as quarter notes, it's sometimes it's easier to hear the timing, and then you can take them out once you get it down. The other thing I'll do is kind of ghost note. So I might go, so on that half note, I'll basically swing and not hit the strings to just keep my hand always moving. I'm always trying to keep that timing going. So you don't always have to do that, but you can basically just kind of keep your hand moving even when you're not playing. So I might do that on like the whole note. You can just kind of keep your hand moving, and I'm not touching the strings, but that basically helps you keep the rhythm if you keep your hand moving. Okay, 5 through 8 one more time. Make sure you're getting some good tone. Make sure you're playing both the pairs of strings. Make sure you should feel the back of your mandolin kind of rattling a little bit. The sound needs to go in, hit the back of your mandolin, and then shoot out. So you got to play loud enough that you feel the back of the mandolin rattling, okay? Okay, so that's through measure 8. Measure 9 through 11 is basically the same as the opening melody line. So we're back to the initial call. So that's all the same as 1 through the beginning of 4. And that's into measure 12, so that's a half note on the 5th fret of the D string. And then this is our ending response lick. Keep your first finger down and do 2, 5 on the A string, beats 3 and 4. And then measure 13, hit the 5th fret for a half note, 2nd fret for a half note, open A string for a half note, and then 2, open 5, walk down. So that's the I'm on my long journey home part. So So let's do from 12 to the end, through 15. And then 15, again, hit that 5th fret for a whole note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And then measure 16 would be the pickup into the bluegrass style solo. Okay, so that's the whole basic melody, not too hard. Probably the hardest thing about it is counting and just keeping your fingers over the frets. So let's play the whole basic melody. Here we go. A little faster. Okay, so that's the basic melody, not too hard. I think you'll be able to get that with some practice. Now let's look at spicing that melody up. So playing it more in a bluegrass style. Because again, the basic melody is... But, you know, kind of generally in bluegrass mandolin, usually mandolins don't have a ton of sustain, so usually you won't let notes ring out for a super long period of time like you might on a violin where you could play a long bow. So we're going to look at, again, filling it up with some more up and down picking. The other thing we're going to look at is adding some slides, so sliding into the notes. Just some basic bluegrass ornaments. Okay, so let's start from measure 16 and we'll start breaking down the bluegrass style solo.